So welcome everyone. Exciting times. We have new board of directors. So before we start, I'd like to just say a couple of things so that you are all aware of how this is going to work. First of all, this webinar will be recorded and will be uploaded to the SCA.coffee website. You can submit questions using the questions panel, please, or the chat. It's going to be easier than having voice. And if you want to ask something in person, just raise your hand so that you can let us facilitate that better. So welcome, everyone. My name is Yannis Apostolopoulos, and I'm the CEO for the Specialty Coffee Association. And it's an honor to be here today to have this presentation of the new board. If we can move forward, Lian. Thank you. So your host today will be Juan Luis Barrios, who is our current president of the board of directors, and Konstantinos Konstantinopoulos, who is the incoming president and the vice chair of the board of directors, including myself, which is I just introduced myself. And next slide, please. So what we're going to cover today, we're going to refresh everyone why SCA exists, what we're trying to do, and why we got up every day. We're going to talk about the election process, an overview of what happened this year, and then we're going to get to meet the slate and the new board directors, and then we're going to have a briefly Q&A. I'm going to pass that to Juan Luis to walk you through the SCA purpose.
Hello, everyone. Juan Luis Barrios here. First of all, so that we're all clear on what our main goal is, and so the SCA's purpose is to foster global global coffee communities to support activities to make coffee a more sustainable, equitable, and thriving activity for the entire value chain. And of course, me being a coffee producer, always an important part to make sure that the entire value chain is included. Next one, please. So briefly go a little bit over the board member terms. So these, we have the president, vice president, and second vice president serve 1 year successive terms. So I mean, once you are elected as a second VP, then you have 3 years of service time remaining. The treasurer, however, is elected on a 2-year term basis. Guild directors, specifically the Roasters Guild and the Barista Guild, serve 1-year terms, and those seats are appointed by each guild. And then if other guilds are formed after the approval of the SCA bylaws, are invited to participate as guests, which is the case of the Coffee Technicians Guild. And then all remaining board members will serve a 2-year term. And we invite, of course, all SCA board members to get to know our bylaws a little bit more, and you can find them on the link we have there in the slide. Okay, so for the 2022 slate of candidates, there were 8 available seats. This changes every year depending on who's stepping off, who's coming in as second VP, etc. So the nominating committee, which is comprised of the President's Council. President's Council is president, vice president, second vice president, and treasurer, along with the CEO, plus the 2 immediate past presidents are the nominating committee. We receive the full list of candidates. And then in this case for this year, a recommendation of 8 nominees for the slate. That is put forth to the entire board for election, and then the board has final say if they are or not in agreement with the slate, and if the board wants to make changes, they can. And then after that process, there is a petitions pathway, which is open to all eligible members. There's a requirement of obtaining 100 signatures from existing SCA board members in order to be able to be a member of the petition slate, so that we can then put that forward to the entire membership. This year, we did not have any petition candidates, so the 8 members of the slate that we put forward on the board are the only 8 candidates we have. So that's more or less the process. I'll pass it over to Konstantinos to introduce the incoming board.
Thank you, Juan Luis. Thank you everyone for being here today. And I would like also to thank in advance all the board directors for their volunteering commitment. So the incoming board of directors of SCA starts with myself having the role of the president, and together with Pamela Chang, who is the vice president, Garfield Kerr, who is the second vice president, and Cosmo Lombardo, we have the role of the president's council of the board. Then it's Sarina Prabasi, Janine Nyonzima Aroyan, Andrew Tolli, and Giovanni Fusili, serving for the second year of their term, having the role also of board directors. And now we are very happy to announce and introduce the new directors, serving a 2-year term starting from January 2023 to December 2024, who are Johanna Alm, David Browning, Wendy Christensen, Julia Leeds, Chega Meleze, Nadine Rash, Luis Alberto Saldana, and Yi Ling Hu. So I would like to kindly ask from the new directors to introduce themselves. So Joanna, it's your second term, so maybe you can start first.
Yes, thank you, Kostas. Pleasure to be here. I'm feeling extremely honored to be a board of director yet again. So I am Joanna Alm. I'm based in Stockholm, Sweden, where I run a coffee roastery and cafe. So both working with retail and sourcing. It's called Drop Coffee. And I've also competed a lot in the championships, like I've seen the SCA from early on in my career. It was so important and been like the whole journey. So not only through competing, I also joined the Coffee Roasters Guild and like set up we were a bunch of roasters that set it up in Europe, and through the merge together with US. I was a part of the unification committee there, as well as on the Sustainability Advisory Council in SCA. So yeah, lately I've been working on the CRD Sustainability Toolkit a lot, but also running the business as a CEO, and yeah, being a board of directors for 2 years with SCA. Thank you.
For your second term. Thank you so
Correct.
much. Thank you so much. So, David.
Yes, hello.
Hello, David.
How is everyone?
It seems to be fine, everyone. So what about you? Please introduce yourself.
Let me put an earphone in so this is better. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Great, so David Browning. And you'd like me to give about 5 minutes? My apologies.
And then coming back to the
Sorry, you broke up. You'd like me to jump in for about 5 minutes and just give you a quick introduction?
Yes, please.
Great. And my apologies for the bad connections. So David Browning, I'll turn off my video. Might be a bit better. CEO of Inveritas. We're a non-profit organization that verifies coffee roaster supply chains for sustainability issues, such as child labor, deforestation, slavery, banned pesticides. In particular, Inveritas was built for millions of smallholder farmers that have historically not had access to sustainability markets. So they're not part of a large, they're not large self-exporters, they're not part of a co-op. And so the verification scheme was built to be free for farmers. I've been working on Inveritas for 5 years with a great dedicated team. And prior to this, I built and managed the coffee practice at TechnoServe for 13 years, which is another nonprofit. In this role, I work to support smallholder coffee communities around the world. The work conducted by the team included a number of innovations, such as scaling mechanical demucilage, wet milling in East Africa, for the reason of providing environmental and social benefits. So the mechanical demucilage uses about 90% less water, which is good for the environment in East Africa, but also is far less expensive for farmers, while increasing the quality and increasing quality premiums. And though hundreds of those mills can now be found across East Africa. We also historically found a new form of wastewater management in Ethiopia using vetiver grass as a natural solution for coffee mills. So the pulp, rather than the pulp going into the river, converted into biomass with vetiver, stops going to the pollution of rivers, and that's helped maybe 1 million people have better quality water. Other things over the years, worked with Nespresso to help South Sudan become an export industry again after 50 years of war. Worked with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation to improve livelihoods for several 100,000 farmers by improving their incomes through agronomy training. Some of which people on this call might be familiar with GEMA, which has emerged as a specialty origin over the last 15 years, which came out of that work. But so those are some of the things in my background. In terms of joining this board, I just want to thank the board for their confidence, and I'm deeply humbled and honored to become onto this board. I really do come at this with a great sense of humility. I have very little knowledge or understanding of all the remarkable work that happens downstream in the coffee industry. I have watched in awe as the SCA and all of you in the specialty coffee industry over the last 20 years has grown in scale and sophistication. It's been remarkable to watch. And as you can tell from my background, I've been focused for 20 years on just one very specific part of the specialty industry, which is supporting the millions of smallholder coffee farmers across the world who work on less than $3 a day. But that has been my role, but I'm very happy to bring that to the board. Most of those farmers have never attended an SCA conference. They don't own a car. They don't even have a road that comes to their farm. Their children won't finish school because it's too expensive. But the income that many of these farmers receive from coffee is absolutely vital for their well-being. So they are under no illusion of the incredible importance of the coffee industry for them and their families' well-being. So I can bring that perspective to the conversation through their stories, their dreams, and the incredible hardships that so many of them faced. And I can bring that to the table, their voice. And so on behalf of the 12.5 million farmers who are not able to make this call today, thank you for all you're doing in creating, evolving, and developing this remarkable industry. I look forward to joining the board and helping where I can. Don't ease up, do more. And I look forward to working with you all.
Thank you, David. The next director is Wendy Christensen. Sandy, are you there? Could you please introduce yourself?
Sure. Thank you very much, everybody. And I'm, again, as the same, really delighted to have been appointed to the board. My name is Wendy Christensen. So just a little bit about who I am and what I value. I'm British, you might tell by the voice. I grew up actually in rural England on a farm. So I really value sustainable living, which I actively practice through land conservation projects. My passion for coffee started more than 12 years ago. I was very fortunate to have spent some time in the coffee farms in Vietnam and the Academy of Agricultural Science there, which really inspired my career in coffee with Nestle Professional, specifically in the out-of-home coffee. I've held various commercial marketing and different sales roles across Europe, UK, Middle East, and I'm currently the global coffee lead for Nestle Professional out of home, and I'm now currently living in wonderful Switzerland. I'm committed and absolutely support coaching and education. I'm very passionate about that. I love to build upon the experiences and give people the opportunities, especially the youth who are working in coffee. And I suppose a little fun fact, my most recent personal achievement, and it was a personal achievement, was participating in the AeroPress Championship in Switzerland. So now my preferred brew method for my morning cup of coffee is an AeroPress. So that's a little bit about who I am. And just once again, thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you, Wendy. So, Julia, I think you are the next one.
Hello, everybody. Also delighted to be part of this slate of candidates and now an official board member. I have been an SCA member since 2010. I guess it was SCAA back then when I acquired a small company called Toddy. And that company has been growing for years. Since then, we manufacture cold brew equipment that is used globally by home users as well as commercial cafes. And I have been involved at several levels with the Specialty Coffee Association. I'm an active exhibitor at many of the conferences, Expo, World of Coffee, etc. I have sponsored events. Recently, our company has sponsored the World Barista Competition at MICE in Melbourne. Also very passionate about coffee research. And so I've collaborated with the Coffee Science Foundation on cold brew projects. And am a member of the steering committee of the UC Davis Coffee Center. I feel that I can bring both my leadership skills in terms of running a manufacturing company, being an employer to various types of talented people, but also a member who experiences the Specialty Coffee Association from various facets to help improve the membership experience for everyone who is a member and who seeks to be more engaged in their coffee community. I've also been part of the roasting community, never did quite make it into the barista community. My barista skills need more training, but I'm also proud to employ some AST coffee trainers, and I'm always looking to both be a consumer of and a provider of specialty coffee education. So that's a little bit about me. I'm based in Loveland, Colorado in the States, travel quite a bit. I'm currently in Singapore and very excited to be part of this community in another way and looking forward to serving.
Thank you so much, Julia. So Chega, the stage is yours.
Okay, hello everyone. I would like to say I'm very honored and very humbled to be elected at the SCA Board of Directors. In my knowledge, I think I'll be the first one to ever be elected from Ethiopia. So I'm very excited and looking forward to working with you all. So to give you a brief information about myself, my name is Aga Mellese. I was born and raised in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. I was on the coffee business for about 10 years now. So I first got the knowledge about coffee growing up from my father. My father used to work in the coffee business, and I always was eager and wanted to know more about coffee. So after I did my BA degree in marketing management, I immediately joined my father. He was actually working as an exclusive agent for a big coffee importing company based in Germany. So after joining him, I got to the experience to taste Ethiopian beautiful coffees, go to washing stations, meet different farmers and producers, and work with exporters and everyone in the value chain. So after working with him for about 4 years, I then joined Kafa Coffee in 2017. Kafa Coffee is based in the Baltimore, Maryland. It's a green coffee importing company. I am based in Ethiopia, controlling quality, shipment follow-up, and also doing my best to get out best Ethiopian coffees for this company. So throughout my career in the coffee business, I got the chance to do my Cube Arabica grading, and frequently did my calibration also. And I also got the chance to do my internship in Germany for about 3 months. I got the chance to experience more knowledge about the futures trading, logistics, and also got the chance to cup different coffees all around the world. So it's a little bit about myself. Thank you.
Thank you, Chega. I think the next one is Nadine.
Yes.
Hello,
Hi,
Nadine.
my name is Nadine Rash, and as everyone has mentioned previously, I'm also very happy and honored to be here with all of you, such great minds of the coffee industry, so that we can, help this industry move forward in the direction that best benefits everyone involved. I am from Guatemala. I'm a 5th generation coffee grower. So coffee is in our blood, in our family. There's no escape. But I have been working in coffee myself for the past 10 years. I lived in the UK, working in a completely different industry, but as I said, I couldn't stay away from coffee. I opened an importer and started working with a few producers in Guatemala, and it has been now 10 years since that very first shipment, and we now work with over 300 small producers. I have also an exporting company here in Guatemala, and I moved back about 7 years ago to be closer to the source, to be closer to the producers. The land was calling me back. I have also opened a small roastery and coffee shop here in Guatemala in order to help the local community understand what quality and coffee is and how the coffees are served around the world, which has been very interesting both for the consumers locally as well as for the producers to see how their product is served and appreciated in different ways that they had never expected. And, instead of having to travel abroad, they can experience this here. And I have served for the board of the Chain Collaborative, which is a nonprofit that works with change leaders and coffee growing communities. I have attended many SCA trade shows, and I hope to be of really good value for the industry being in this position. So thank you.
Thank you, Nadine. So let's move forward. Luis, are you there?
Good morning. Good afternoon, Konstantinos. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. My name is Luis Saldanha. First of all, I would like to thank the board for this incredible opportunity and for the trust, and also to compliment all my new colleagues of this new board. I really hope we can work together and to contribute to SCA. So I am 42 years old. I am the dad of two beautiful microlots, Luisa and Maria, and the husband of a beloved wife, Flavia. I am an agronomical engineer and a farmer since 2004. And I built my career in this industry working in the Paraná zone, so the south of Brazil, first as a farmer, then as a cupper. Then we founded a specialty coffee association in Paraná, in Norte Pioneiro do Paraná. And I used to be the vice president and then the president, working with small farmers, developing sustainability through different protocols, developing quality in this zone. Then I became an exporter in 2015, and I run a company called Capricornio Coffees, where we export coffees to different clients from around the world. And in this journey, I also became a Q grader in 2011, and then a Q processing instructor through the CQI processing program. What gave me this possibility through these different roles to have this ability to communicate in a transversal way through the chain. So from small farmers to cuppers, researchers, final clients, roasters. What I think is a great skill that I can bring and share with SCA in terms of making this transversal communication. So again, thank you very much for the opportunity, and wish a great meeting for everybody.
Thank you, Luis. Yiling, I think you are the last one.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Yeah, I'm Yiling from Taiwan. I'm happy to with everyone have the in SCA committee. Sorry, a little bit sound is a little bit sad. Okay, can everybody hear me clear? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I'm work for industry, for the beverage industry. Everyone is work for the coffee and work for the coffee too. And the industry is for the make the RTD coffee. We import all the coffee bean from all over the world. So we import the bean, and I traveling all the coffee country. So I love the coffee more than 30 years. So you see, I have a coffee bean in my neck. And what is Mr. Brown doing? The coffee what I'm doing because I'm a researcher and I've created RTD coffee. In RTD coffee, from the coffee extraction method, cold brew method, how to roasting. This is this is research we are doing. And when we make I remember in 1990, I visited Vietnam and Indonesia. And they process the coffee, and I visited Sumatra to see the Mandarin coffee. Then I bring the coffee back to Taiwan to make the Sumatra coffee in can. So this is what I'm doing in the normal. And what I'm work for the coffee in this community. I remember in the 1999, I go with the government people to the Central America, Guatemala. And when we've been to the Guatemala, they say nobody knows the coffee in Taiwan. They only using the instant coffee. But I say no. From the King Cow, we are import the green coffee directly and roasting extraction to the can. So when I come back to Taiwan, I collaborate the coffee people to create the first coffee association in Taiwan in 2003. 2003, it's named the Taiwan Coffee Association. And in 2003, I introduced the SCA, all the program and all the standard coffee competition to Taiwan. From 2003 until now, and we have a lot of compete and one great champion, barista champion, brew champion, cup tester champion, and roaster champion in Taiwan. But that is not enough. I would like to introduce more people, like the young people to know the coffee standard. So I think the education is very important for us. So that's what I'm doing, because I'm the research people. When the research people always research the new thing, and knowledge is the best thing. So I would like to contribute and sharing my experience to everyone. And another thing is, why did I create a coffee association in Taiwan? Because at that time I go to tell the Taiwanese government we have to Chinese coffee standard. We can import and export the coffee, but they say no, we don't have that. So I convinced the government to have 26 different coffee standard in Taiwan right now. This is the association I'm in. So when I know I'm joining the SCA board, I'm very happy, because I think the coffee standard is very important for the coffee community, because if you will have the same standard from the farm to the purchase to the user, this is a very good thing for everyone. So happy to meet you all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you everyone for the introduction. Before going to the question, I just want again to say what Juan Luis said at the beginning, that today we are presenting the new board directors coming actually from the slate, but also in our board we have some ex officio seats representing some other communities. We have coming mainly from guilds. So this term is 1 year term. So for the new board, we have the incoming directors who are Kathy Hilbert, representing the Barista Guild. We have David Myers from the Roasters Guild, and also we have Simon Green for the Technicians Guild. So, guys, we have a question for you, because we want to learn more and understand, let's say, your vision. And the question is, what will you bring to the board, and how would you utilize your service for the community? So let's keep again the same order, and we start with Joanna.
Yes, thank you. I think you can see what a diverse board this is when you sit here and listen, and that's just why we need a board like this, right? It's so such a diverse industry, and I think like I can bring bits of that. I can bring a business mind, and I can also bring a perspective from members. In particular, I'm thinking about the roasting events that we've been organizing and hosting, and like very hands-on talking with roasters, as well as in my private business, selling coffee to people, you know, like listen, I'm very connected to the community and SCA's members. And I think I always have that, you know, that view, even if, you know, you all see different things. I think I often tend to try to put their glasses on, so to say. But also as a managing director, I understand business and complexity, and how, you know, how to run a business, and to make sure, you know, things are also realistic. And I think we all unite around this strive for a sustainable coffee chain, and like that combined with the business mind is very much what's in my brain going on all of the time. And I think like being a part of CRG and also on the previous board, I understand more of how the organization is built up, the politics, the where we're at, and also I understand that I don't, now compared to for 2 years ago, I understand that I don't have the answers to everything, and that things are more complex, and we come into new situation that we don't foresee. Like then I entered in the middle of the pandemic, and we had the Black Lives Matters, we had climate crisis. So many of those seats we are still in, and the board going on now are joining during a war, or several wars in the world. So yeah, here we are, and I hope I can contribute with a business mind, but also a member's perspective.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, sorry, Joanna.
No, I said competitions as well. Like I'm actually a big fan, and like been judging and competing a lot, and have many baristas, and so competing, and like that's a very one close to my heart as well.
Okay, thank you. So David, are you there? Because I can see you.
Yes, I'm here, and I actually answered both questions my first time around, so I'll pass on to the next person. So I answered both in my first response, so I'll leave to the next person.
Thank you, David. Thank you, David, for that. So Wendy. Wendy, are you there?
Do you hear me now?
Yes.
Hello? Yes, perfect. Sorry, I thought I'd lost the connection. So what will I...
You want me to repeat the question, or everything is fine?
No, it's okay. It's fine. I remember. So, well, I believe I'll bring a global perspective as a coffee professional from one of the largest coffee companies on some of the most, I think, prevalent topics that we have across the total coffee value chain. I'm also passionate and committed to this. So, and I believe in my role and being in a global role, I embrace the different kind of cultures and the diversity whilst working with multiple different stakeholders and teams. I'm looking forward to doing that with the board and the members that we have. So I think this is one of my strengths in terms of bringing the people together, but at the same time, being very agile and adaptable. I want to support, and I really want to strengthen the local coffee communities. And I think, but by supporting the local boards through this kind of network, both at local level and in the markets, I think this is really, really important. I believe it's very important. We must continue, in my mind, to really nurture this and build these communities around the world. So the other important point for me is around the coffee education and development. So, bringing these people together, bringing the business of coffee on a day-to-day basis alive. So engaging and involving, I think at a collective level, we can really make a difference. So I suppose, simply put, better quality coffee may help raise the quality of their lives and improve the livelihoods of every person in that coffee community around the world. And that's kind of my thoughts around this and what I think I'm going to be bringing. So I'm really looking forward to the challenge. So thank you.
Thank you, Wendy. So Julia, you are the next one.
Thank you. Like David, I think I was very eager and answered both questions in my first pass. So I will go ahead and pass the microphone down. Thank you.
Thank you, Julia. So Jagger?
So throughout my 10-year experience in the coffee industry, I believe I have both in the exposure from the producer side and also from the consumers or final buyer side. So from the producer side, getting engaged in the washing stations, talking to the farmers, exporters, and everyone in the value chain gave me better insight about the reality and the needs of coffee producers, and also participating in the coffee exhibitions and conferences held by the SCA. Also, for the past 6 years, gave me more detailed information about the roasters, what the importers and the final buyers need. So I've always seen some gaps in between. And the first thing that needs to be improved, in my belief, is education. Education, especially in the processing countries, is very vital, because we need to make it more frequent, more accessible and affordable to the producing countries, because if we do a lot of work at the grassroots in the producing countries, people that produce the coffee will have at the end specialty coffee. At the end, they will get better price. Their livelihood will be changed, and everything at the value chain will be solved, in my belief. So the other thing will be also women's empowerment. Being a woman in the producing country, I've seen, I think as far as a food and agriculture organization, women contribute about 75% of the coffee production labor in Ethiopia, but their livelihood is still in poverty, still in a very low income people. So being a member of the Women's in Coffee Association in Ethiopia, and also being a member at the SCA, will help me facilitate these gaps in my belief. So I'll do a better job, I think, in these aspects. So I'm looking forward to everyone to working with you all. And also I'd like to say thank you to the SCA and the CQY for doing a very fantastic job for the past decades in doing the education at the grassroots level. So I will look forward to working with you all, and thank you.
Thank you, Cheka. As time flies, we have less than 15 minutes remaining. So and we have 3 directors. So Nadine, Louise, and Yiling, we have 15 minutes. Let's do it. Nadine, you go first.
I'll be very quick because I think everything that Sarah said really applies to me as well. Being both a woman and working with a lot of small producers, that maybe a lot of this information and a lot of this work doesn't necessarily get to them directly. I think we are channels that can provide all this information and this work directly to small producers that are not directly involved with SCA, because this is who we are serving. And so I hope that by being here and by being part of this board, we can better communicate and help the people that are behind, as David had also mentioned, the millions of families that are behind the product that we so value.
Thank you, Nadine. So Louise, what about you?
My friend, I think I can bring a lot of my skills in terms of leadership, in terms of educational skills, and this transversal network. And in order to achieve the goals of SCA, of bringing a sustainable and equitable for the whole supply chain, I really trust in the power of education. And I think SCA may be this leadership, this beacon right now. So everybody's looking for some guidance in this crazy unstable times. And I think SCA has this power of being this highlighting the power of education, of sharing. So what I really want to bring to the board is my capacity of learning and sharing with everybody from the different roles from the supply chain.
Thank you, Louise. Yiling.
Hi, hello. Yeah, I think I can contribute myself because I have a long-term experience in industry side, and I know all the supply chain, purchase, R&D, and all the detail. But most important thing is I come from Taiwan, and Taiwan is Asia. So I like to introduce the SCA more program for the Asia member, because maybe they cannot, they don't know and they didn't join, but I think more young people, they are eager to learn more standard, more things. This is why I'm here, and I would like to contribute and like a bridge connect to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you all. I think we have a perfect timing. So I don't know if anyone from the attendees have any question, anything that you would like to comment. Yanis, what do you think? Do you have something else that we didn't cover today?
No, I think we covered everything. I also don't see any questions on the chat. So I would like to thank you all for participating today, for being with us. And I'm looking forward to working with you. Thank you all so much for your time.